Hello, traditions. Good afternoon once again. So it looks like we just have a very short lesson number 7. So we are going to have lesson 8 so that mag-study na lang mo next week, okay? So because I will just also giving a very short assessment lang for 7 and 8. Okay? So we are now in Unit 3, a closer look at the Philippine government. So this is Lesson 8, Legislation and the Rule of Law. So we are going now to discuss the lawmaking body, which is the legislation. Okay? Diba? Meron tatlong branches, si Philippine government, si legislation, C is executive, and C is judiciary. So here in lesson 8, we are going to talk about legislation and the rule of law. So if you want to be a lawmaker, so you can be a congressman or a senator. Okay? So now let's have the next one. So, at the end of the lesson, guys, you are expected to first identify the importance of laws and legislation in politics and governance. Second, discuss the important rules of the legislature in upholding the rule of law. And third, discuss the legislative process that ensure the effectiveness of a proposed piece of legislation. So, una yung malalaman guys, i-identify nyo kung ano yung kahalagahan ng ating laws and legislation, labi na sa politics and governance. And then, dapat makadiscuss ninyo kung unsa ang mga importante nga mga rules of the legislature in upholding the rule of law. So, and then you need also to know how to discuss the legislative process that ensure the effectiveness of a proposed piece of legislation. Now, let's go to the next slide. So, let's try to discuss about lawmaking and the rule of law. So, paano pala nagabuhat ta og batas or paano makabuhat ta og batas o paano na to i-apply or paano ni siya ma-apply in the future or even in the country or in the society at large. So, laws are a set of rules or pieces of legislation that are formulated by the government and are meant to be followed by all citizens of a state. So, ang balaod daw guys, mao ni siya ang rules o pieces of legislation nga gi-formulate nila or gi-formulate sa government para sundon sa tibuok citizen sa state or sa tao or sa country. Okay? So meaning if it is a Philippine government, so everyone or every Filipinos must abide in that or must follow in that law. So a law then is also referred to as the statutory law or legislation and is made by a legislative body such as Congress or Parliament. So si statutory law po siya or legislation meaning si senador o si congressman ang nagbuhat ana nga balaod. So we also have the parliament. So si parliament po, pwede po sila makabuhat og balaod. So, now let's go to legislation. So, as we have discussed a while ago, so legislation is they are the lawmaking body. All it also refers to the act of making laws and is one of the powers of government. Okay? Legislation, kani siya nag-refer to the act of making laws. Okay, the act of making laws and is one of the power of the government. So we also have rule of law. So unsa day ang rule of law? So what comes in your mind when you talk or when you hear the word rule of law? So when we say rule of law, guys, this is the importance of laws and legislation for a state. So importante kayo ni siya, guys, sa pag-implement sa balaod o sa legislation sa state. So always remember, guys, if you become a senator or a congressman, when you make a law, always remember if it is applicable in our country or not. Kasi always remember too that the laws in the past may be not be or maybe not applicable in the future. So sa una, wala nang cybercrime, wala nang kuan, uh, cyber nga mga balaod. So most likely kuan lang gyud kanang purely in kanang speaking in written works, kana siya ang kanang pwede ka mahimong makasuhan og libel, makasuhan og different cases. Pero karon dili na. So na dungagan ang ato ang rule of law. Kasi yung past natin na mga balaod is not now applicable. So nanay computers, nanay cybercrime. It is because there are a lot of applications and mobile applications and computer applications na ginagamit para mag-create ng crime. So for example, kanang estafa, libel, uh, degrading someone. So that is also another case for cybercrime. Bullying someone is also cybercrime. Now, let's have initiative. So, ano pala yung initiative? So, actually, guys, because this is a democratic country, we can also submit law. Like, for example, you become a lawyer or even a judge, pwede po ka mag-submit og balaod. Like, for example, na kay amigo nga congressman o senador, imuon mo siya ang co-author ato nga balaod para like for example, if it is very important law, so kinahanglan yun na siya ipatuman. So that's why you need to study a lot so that you will become a great lawyer. Now we also have for the initiative, guys, it allows the people to directly propose laws and even amendments to the Constitution. So just like katong grupo ni Cheese Escudero, they are against the law of katong bag-o karon, what we call that law? Terror bill. There again. So, a group of lawyers and lead by Chis Escudero, kanang giano sila, nag-initiative sila to propose na i-amend tong law. So, dapat na i-clarify ato nga law o na ay i-change. Okay? So, actually, we can also do that, especially if we become lawyers and even regular people nga na ay na background sa balaod. So, we can also amend and even directly propose laws. And we also have referendum. So what is referendum, guys? So this is the word that we already encountered in grade 11 and even in the lower years. So when we say referendum, again, this is means by which the people are able to vote for either approve or reject or a piece of legislation. So mo ni siya ang kanang pamaagi to vote to either approve or reject a piece of legislation. So naate ka kaya na labi na ma-invite ta to be one of the referendum of a certain law. Like for example, a group of students, a group of lawyers, a group of teachers, a group of doctors. So when you become a referendum, you can either approve or reject a piece of legislation. Yun ka. Uy, dili man ni applicable sa ato ang country because we are a democratic country, so dili siya applicable. Now let's have the next one. So let's go to the next slide. So this is about the nature of Philippine laws. So daghan kaayo og nature ang ato ang law, guys. So there are Constitution, the Organic Law, we have the Republic Acts, we have the Administrative Law, we have the Civil Service Law, Civil Law, Criminal Law, Labor Law, Commercial Law, Taxation Law, Ordinances, Administrative Orders, Proclamations. So those are ato ang nature of Philippine laws. So first, we have the Constitution. So when we say Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and it is the basis and foundation of all laws in the country. So mao ni siya, guys, ang atoang supreme law of the land. So mao ni siya pod ang basis o ang foundation sa tanang balaod sa country. So just like our country, the Philippine Constitution, the 19 if I am not wrong, it is 1987 Philippine Constitution. Okay, just like we have discussed in 1987 Philippine Constitution, just like we have discussed in lesson number 7. So, diha nagikan ang atoang balaod. So, that is the nature of Philippine laws. First is Constitution. So, mao na siyang gigikanan sa ato ang Bill of Rights, sa ato ang national and territory citizenship, just like that. So, we also have the Organic Law. So, when we say Organic Law, it is a law that describes and organizes the government that will run the state. So, organic law, it is mo na siya ang describes o nag-organize sa government. So just like for example, you will become a president when you are voted by a lot of people or a lot of citizens of the Philippines or Filipino people. Kung daghan ni boto sa imuha, then you will become a president. So, mo na siya ang nakapaloob sa organic law. So, mo na siya ang nag-describe o nag-organize sa government. Okay nga makaron ta sa atuang state. Okay? So, the organic law, that is the law that describes and organizes the government that will run the state. So, unsa man ang ilahang capacity, unsa man dapat nilang buhaton as a president or as a senator or as a congressman. So, mao na siya ang organic law. So, we also have Republic Acts. Di ba? Daghang kitag madung ani Republic Act number. So, unsa day ang Republic Act? So, Republic Act, guys, are laws which create policies to carry out the principles stated in the Constitution. Okay? So, mao ni siya ang mga balaod nga nabuhat as a polisiya para ma-carry out, para ma-implement ang mga prinsipyo sa atoang Constitution. So, mao ni siya ang mo specify sa law nato sa Constitution. Like for example, Bill of Rights. So, unsay may tabo nimo kung nag-violate ka sa Bill of Rights? So, Republic Act ang mag-support ana. Like for example, ano ba minimum punishment, maximum punishment, just like that. Now, let's have the administrative law. So, unsa nakapaloob sa administrative law? So, when we say administrative law, it refers to legislation specifically concerned with activities or actions of government, agencies, and department. So, sa administrative law karon naadara ang mga legislation nga naka-specify and then concerned with the activities or action of government agencies and department. So, mao na siya ang administrative law. So, ito yung mga activities and action ng ating government. So, kung ano yung like for example, for the personnel of the Philippine government, kung sa ilaha mga dapat nga himuon, they need to abide with the administrative law. Okay? Philippine government, Philippine, mga public sector, like for example sa DOLE, mga tauhan sa DOLE, empleyado sa DepEd, teacher sa DepEd, empleyado sa different government agencies. So they are governed by administrative law. Now let's have the civil service law. So napoy laing nga law ang ato ang government sector. So we have the civil service law. So ito din siya guys. Kung sa administrative law, siya yung nag-specify ng mga concern sa mga activities sa different agencies and then different employees. Si civil service law naman, siya yung mas specific. So, it pertains to public service. Siya yung sa public service, particularly the employment. So, unsa ang balaod, kung unsa ang mga balaod kung imuhan ning buhaton as empleyado sa gobyerno, selection and promotion of public workers. So sila pod ang nagabuhat og balaod ana. So kinsa ang piliun unsa ang kanang mga requirements in terms of that certain position o unsa wag na nakaana nga posisyon unsa pod ang paraan para ma-promote ka. Like for example, kailangan bag master's degree, kailangan bag doctorate degree, kailangan bag nakabuhat kay nani nga project, just like that. And then we also have the civil law. So daghan kayo po sa ato other no, which is a civil lawyer. So ano pala yung civil law? So when we say civil law, it outlines the rights and duties of individuals, particularly concerning contracts and other agreements. So civil law, guys, mo na siya nag-outline or nag-summarize na siya sa ato ang mga rights o mga duties as individual. So for example, we're a group of teachers that nami rights and duties po. For a group of doctors, we also have the rights and duties put. For a group of students, you also have rights and duties. And even rights, duties, kanang mga butang nga dapat dili nimo buhatan as a student, as a teacher, as a doctor. So that is for the civil law. Now let's go to the criminal law. So when we say criminal law, this one is the law that addresses crimes and outlines criminal behaviors and their appropriate sanctions. So mo ni siya ang criminal law, mo ni siya ang nag-address sa mga crime. Like for example, nakapatay kag tao, nakadunggab ka og tao, they are the one or this law ang nag-address ani. And then it also outlines the criminal behaviors. Like for example, kanang maximum ba ang imuhang ang imuhang what we call this one, punishment kay nakapatay ka og tao niya, gituyo jud nimo ang imuhang pagpatay sa iyaha nga na siya. And then daghan kani siya ang civil law, it's very wide. So even all of this one are very wide, so let's just focus on its meaning. Okay, now let's have the labor law. So mao jud ni ang balaod sa nga gina-implement sa DOLE. Kasi most likely for the labor law, it addresses the relationship between employers and workers and outlines their rights, responsibilities, and privileges. Kung sa empleyado, naapod sila ilahang kaugalingong rights, ilahang responsibilities, o ilahang mga privileges. While sa mga workers, we also have the rights, responsibilities, and privileges, which is stipulated in labor law. Now, let's go to the next one. So we also have the nature of Philippine laws, which include commercial law, taxation law, ordinances, and administrative orders, and proclamations. Kung when we say commercial law, what does it encompass? So when we say commercial law, guys, it focuses on trade concerns. So sa mga businesses ni sila guys, corporations, like particularly ani guys, itong mga businesses nga na ay production, distribution, exchange, pricing of goods, and services. So they are what we call commercial law. Sila ang nag-stipulate ana sa mga businesses o sa mga trade concerns like mga businesses nga nag-produce, nag-distribute, nag-exchange, Nya sa mga pricing of goods pod, dili pwede ka magpataas og presyo sa bugas kasi mao ni siya ang minimum price, just like that. And then we also have taxation law. So di ba daghan mo og nabalitaan ani nga nga priso kay wala nagbayad og tarong og tax. So because of this law, taxation law. So unsa ang mga taxation laws? So it identifies, determines, and regulates the type of taxes to levied from a particular business transactions, trade, or activity. So, si taxation law, guys, mo ni siya ang power of legislation pod para nga para mamayad ang mga business sectors para naapod tay ika ah, paandar sa tuang ekonomiya o sa tuang nasod. So mao ni siya si taxation law mao na siya nagatabang sa government to collect the right tax for the businessmen, employers, employee, and a lot more. So even ka ng mga small vendors guys, napo na sila yung mga tax. So that is included in the taxation law. Now, let's go to the ordinances. Oops. So when we say ordinances, guys, these are uh, applicable ni siya guys sa mga ginagmay nga ano small entities. Like for example, sa toang barangay, sa toang city, sa toang municipal, sa toang provincial council. So this is what we call ordinances. Power gyapon ni siya sa legislation guys nga under sa katong specific nga places. Like for example, barangay Apukon, ordinance number 1, chuchu, just like that. And then kana siya nga ordinance is para lang ana nga city, para lang ana nga barangay, para lang ana nga specific municipality or specific provincial council. So that is for ordinances. So within lang sa respective jurisdiction. Now let's have the administrative orders. So unsa dayon ng mga administrative orders? So administrative orders guys according to the book 3, title 1, chapter 2, section 3 of the administrative code of 1987 refers to the acts of the President which relate to particular aspects of governmental operations in pursuance of his duties as administrative head. The administrative orders, guys, are usually given by the President. Okay? So, si President karon ang ang atuang administrative head. Okay, para magampanan niya ang iya pagka-administrative head, he will post administrative orders. So, usually ani ang ato mga or ang mga president administrative order ginaagi niya sa iyahang mga secretary. Like for example, Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Department of Education, Secretary of Department of Agriculture. So, pwede si president maghatag og mga administrative orders as our administrative head. Now let's have the proclamations. So according to Book 3, Title 1, Chapter 2, Section 4 of Administrative Code of 1987, si proclamation, it refers to the act of the President fixing a date or declaring a status or condition of public moment or interest upon the existence of which the operation of a specific law or regulation is made to depend. A notable example of a proclamation is Proclamation number 1081. Ang pinaka sikat na proclamation sa isa ka presidente guys is si martial law. So this is proclamation number 1081, which declared martial law on September 23, 1972. So wala pa na tao si teacher ani guys sa martial law. Martial law on September 23, 1972. Because I was born in 1988, mao daw na siya nga year nag-end pod ang martial law. So most likely guys, when we say proclamation, mao ni siya ang act sa usa ka presidente. Pwede siya mag-declare og martial law in different reason. pwede pod siya mag-declare og isa ka date nga himuon niya og holiday, just like what we call this one, Noynoy Aquino, iyang gi-declare ang katong isa ka holiday for his father. Okay, daghan po to siya gibuhat nga mga proclamations proclaiming a certain date nga isa ka holiday. That is an example of proclamations. But actually, different presidents, they also have differentiated proclamations. So, now let's have to the validity of laws. So, paano ba maging valid ang isang law or the legal validity of a law? So, a law is valid or binding if it belongs to a system of laws that is in force in a particular society. So, mahimo daw na siyang valid o binding ang isa ka balaod kung naaprubahan na and then naapod siya system. So like for example, specific system of that. And then force in a particular society. So dapat napod siya particular society. Like for example, para ba na siya sa mga social workers? Para ba na siya sa mga what we call this one? Counselors. So, it has a certain or a force in a particular society. So, napibalaod na para sa tanan. So, validity of a system depends on the validity of its most fundamental secondary rules. So, according to Kelsen, it is a ground norm. So, meaning, walay mulabag sa batas. Sundo na to tanan. According to Hart, it is also an ultimate rules of recognition. So, for the validity of laws, guys, kailangan ni siya would determine through the collaborative process involving all of the branches of government. So, dapat na-involve ni siya sa tanang branches sa government. So, niagi kang legislative department, kang senators and congressmen. So, that's why nga mas smooth ang dagan sa ka presidente kung daghan siya kaalyado sa nga congressman and senators. So we also have for the second, moadto na po siya sa executive. Next is sa judiciary. So that's why mahimo na siyang balaod through the collaborative process of the three branches of the government. So dili we are weak if we are one. Kung isa lang ta, weak ta. So mas daghan jud tag mabuhat kung daghan ta. Okay, just that's why we need to have a collaborative process with the three branches of government. Yeah. Now let's have the next one. So now let's have the official gazette. So unsa na yung official gazette? So dili daw mahimo ang isa ka balaod kung wala diri na po sa official gazette. Okay? So one way through which the continuity the laws is ensured is through the official gazette, which contains compilations of all the laws and constitutions promulgated in the Philippines since 1901. So meaning mao ni siya ang mga compilation sa ato ang mga balaod. Compilation sa ato ang mga constitutions. And then we also have the next one, the Philippine Congress. So the Philippine Congress, guys, is part of the legislative branch. The mga congressman nato, they are part of the legislative branch. So the legislative branch of the government, which has the power to create laws, it is the bicameral body. So duha siya, guys, bicameral body composed of two houses. So ato ang Philippine Congress, guys, is not just composed of one but composed of two houses. We have the upper house or Senate, diba? Kato ko ang i-discuss ganina sa lesson 7. So legislative, we have the senators and the congressman. So senators, sila ang what we call the upper house. Okay? The upper house or Senate. Next, or then the lower house or the House of Representatives. So ito ang mga congressman na to, ang mga representatives na to, They are the part of the lower house or House of Representatives. Now, kinsa ning mga Senate or kanang let's try to know about the Senate. So, kinsa diri ang gusto mahimong senador? It's your time to shine. So, if you want to be a Senate, or a senator, it is composed of 24 senators who are elected nationally, and each senator serves a 6-year term of office for a maximum of 2 consecutive terms. So, naay 24 ka senators. So, walay kuan tanong, wala din na nato makita ang atong future basin day isa sa inyo ha mahimong senators, one of the 24 senators. Okay? And then sa isa ka senator guys, they have 6 year of office. So ang style diri sa ato is 12-12 siya guys. So ang 12 is ma-expire after 6 months, and then another 12 na po ma-expire after 6 years. So dili siya dungan kay lisod pud kaayo dungan mawala ang 24 ka senators. So kailangan na pa jud siya mahabilin. So inana ang ato ang ano ah pagdala diri sa ato ang mga senador or senators. So we have 12-12. So that's why kung muboto ka 12 lang imo ang iboto, di ba? Kasi 12 lang ang ma-expire in every election. So Senate President guys. So kinsa nato ang Senate President? So we have Soto. So si Senate President guys, the highest official of the Senate. Siya yung pinaka-leader. Siya yung pinaka-highest official who leads the Senate sessions and ensures order in all proceedings. So meaning bright jud kay Sip Soto no kay siya ang naga-lead sa session. Siya pud ang naga-ensure nga na ay order ang proceeding sa Senate office or the upper house. Next is the Senate President pro tempore. So, pinano jud no? Pina-Spanish. Senate President pro tempore. So, kinsa ni siya? This is the one who performs the functions of the Senate President in case of the latter's prolonged absence, incapacity, or removal from office. Kumbaga, siya ang vice sumusunod sa Senate President. So, siya ang kung absent ang ang ato ang Senate President, siya ang mo puli. So that is Senate President pro tempore. And then kung incapacitated ang ato ang Senate President, siya po na mo puli. And then kung mawawala or remove na yung kaso ang mapriso, so siya po ang mo puli sa Senate President pro tempore. Now we also have the majority floor leader. So, di ba si majority floor leader is they are the senadors or senators. So, the majority floor leader, guys, of the Senate of the Philippines or the simply Senate majority floor leader, so is the leader elected by the majority party of the Senate of the Philippines that serves as their official leader in the body. He also manages the business of the majority part in the Senate. So, si majority floor leader po, gi-elect na siya sa kadaghanan sa mga senador para muak as their official leader in the body. So, we also have the minority floor leader. So, kinsa ni si minority floor leader of the Senate or simply the Senate minority floor leader? So, muna siya ang leader elected by the minority. Okay? Kato ganina si majority party man ang nag-elect ato. Karon, we have the minority political grouping of the Senate of the Philippines to serve as their official leader in the body and fulfill the responsibilities of a floor leader. So that's why we have the majority floor leader voted by the majority of the senators or appeal siya sa katong majority party, and then minority political grouping para sa minority floor leader. We also have the House of Representatives of the Philippines. Okay? For the House of the Representatives of the Philippines, guys, they are what we call the lower house of the Congress. Okay, the lower house of the Congress. And then it is commonly referred to as Congress or informally referred to as the Kamara or Kamara. Diba makadungog mo ana guys? So dapat mapasa na sa Kamara. So it is because moagi pagyud sa House of Representatives of the Philippines ang any law na i-propose ni bisan kinsa. Okay? Now let's go to the next one. So we have the district representative or party list representative. Just like Gloria Arroyo, she is now a district representative. Bright kaayo. District representative na siya. So 80% of the representatives shall come from congressional districts. So dapat apil na sila sa mga congressional districts. With each district returning one representative, although each district should have a population of at least 250,000 people, all provinces have at least one legislative district, regardless of population, whose residents vote for their own congressman. Several cities have representation of their own, independent of provinces, although they should have at least a population of 250,000. For provinces that have more than one legislative district, the provincial districts are identical to the corresponding legislative district, with the exclusion of cities that do not vote for provincial offices. So meaning guys, ato ang mga district representative guys or party list representative, dapat 80% na sila sa congressional district. Meaning, ang 80% ana sa ila is gikan sa congressional district. Dili lang tanan sa party list representative. Okay? So dapat kuha na sila. 80% sila is gikan sa congressional district. So paano maging congressional district ang isa ka lugar or ang provinces kung naa na siya at least 250,000 people. Just like Davao del Norte, we have more than 250,000 people. So that's why this is also a district. Okay? So now, let's move forward to the next one. Ching! Okay, so to learn more about this topic, guys, you can also read your books of Philippine Politics and Governance for Senior High School, authored by Joven A. 2017. That is from pages 134 to 146. Or if ever you have another book of Mind Shapers, so we have Philippine Politics and Governance for Senior High School. That is from Arcela Serapia, MP, 2016. You can read from pages 79 to 93. So it talks about legislative branch. Okay, so let's go now to your assessment, guys. So always remember to do your very best and make your parents proud. See you! And let's go to your assessment edition. See you in a while.